Working on something a little bit different today over at my buddy Josh's. Working on this case 1070. His dad bought this new in 70 or 71, something like that. I want to say that he said it's been sitting for quite a while. Josh redid it when he was in high school as a senior project, and then after that it kind of sat. So I came over last spring, tried to help him get it started. We got it started and it ran away. Luckily I had the air pipe off. I was able to cut my hand over it and choke it down until it died, but we had to get the injection pump rebuilt. It's got that redone. Now having a problem with the key switch, but what we're doing today is the tires that were on it had calcium in it and the rims were rotting out. So these are the rims that were off. These are double bevel rims that were off of the tires that I got for the G950, and obviously the G950 takes different rims, so I sold Josh these double bevels and I painted them when I painted my other ones. And then my buddy Eric sold him these Firestone tires to go on, and so we got those mounted up a few weeks ago, and then today we got this side done, and this side really wasn't that bad. Everything came apart pretty easy, so feeling pretty good. And then we come over here to the other side, and not so good. So it had the rings on it for the duals. The other side had nuts on underneath the rings. This side didn't. And then this side we have broke 3 breaker bars. 1, 2, 3. Craftsman, Harbor Freight, and I don't know what that one is. And the Ingersoll Rand won't touch it. The Milwaukee Mid won't touch it. These things are freaking on there like you wouldn't believe. So Josh just ran to get nuts, new nuts, because we're going to need them for the ones that just had the rings on them, because he's not really worried about putting duals back on this. I'm going to run home and get my 1-inch drive stuff, or 3/4, I forget which it is. Anyway, my bigger set, and see if we can maybe get this thing broke free. But it's amazing how tight this thing is, and we've soaked it down, and I don't know, doesn't make sense. But that's kind of where we are right now. You can see this thing was sitting over in the other barn, and it's going to be good we get these tires on it. The other tire, the one we already got off there, was going flat. It was in bad shape. So getting these on will make Josh, so he can get this washed off, get it where it needs to be. And we did set it in a little bit. So before it was on the inside bevel. Now we're setting it in so that it's on the outside bevel, so it's a little bit narrower. It didn't need to be as wide as it was. And yeah, so it's kind of where we're at. I'm gonna run home. He just ran to TSC, and we're gonna meet back here. And I'd really like to get this other one swapped out. There's the tire we just took off over there laying on the bin, and this is the other one we're going to put on it. We got the John Deere there. Of course, they're loaded, so we got the John Deere there with the forks to carry away the ones when we get it off. But yeah, I'm bewildered at this stage of the game that this has given us such a hard time. So never broke 3 breaker bars in a day before. Granted, one's a Harbor Freight, but one's a Craftsman, and who knows? I'm gonna go get the heavy duty stuff. All right, Josh is on his way back from TSC. I brought my 3/4 inch drive stuff. Of course, I can't find my 1 1/4 socket, so he's buying one at TSC. I said, just get new bolts, new nuts. If we get these things off, we'll just start over. So just took my angle grinder with the wire wheel on it, went around and tried to clean up the threads the best I could. So if we can get these stupid things started to come off, that will be taken care of. So it's about all I can do right now till Josh gets back. I would say, you know, just a little history. So the field across from my house where we've been out driving the A4T and stuff, that's owned by Josh's family. And the farm's been in their family since 1823. And they've been up in this area here since then. So kind of a long time family here in the neighborhood. And so Josh and his dad went with us to Half Century Progress 2 years ago, and we had a good time with them. And unfortunately, his dad passed shortly thereafter, and Josh is just trying to keep all these tractors going that were his dad's. He's got a Ford 4000 and a Farmall H and Ford 9N, I want to say, and of course then they got the John Deere. We won't talk about that. So anyway, yeah, he'll be back here shortly, and hopefully we can get this thing off and we can move on to the get the other wheel on and be done with this. Work call. All right, so while I'm waiting for Josh to get back, I went around and knocked out the blocks in all the places where it was just the rings holding on, holding those on. So those, at least that much is done. So when he gets back, hopefully we can get these off. I mean, I all I can think is this wheel's been on here forever, and that's why they're being so stubborn. But the back side of these, it's a square-headed bolt with a little thing to keep the bolt from spinning, like a little. I just realized we probably put the other side on wrong, because I'm gonna guess these are original and we did the opposite on the other side. But I don't think it matters much, because either way they didn't spin. So you can tell we mounted this tire out on the grass with nothing underneath it, because we got some grass stuck in the bead. But since it's got tubes in it, doesn't really matter. So I was also noticing, compared to the Moline, these rear axles seem a lot smaller. But I mean, I think this is around a 100-horse tractor, which would be close to the 950, and it seems like the Moline's a little bit bigger. I don't know. But the 3-point arms are very thick on this thing. I mean, that's one solid piece of steel there. Just some difference between the case and the Moline, I guess. This is a fuel tank. It's a poly tank. It's underneath the cab. And in order to take that off, you have to take the cab off. We did look at that when we were messing around with the engine. And I can't remember what other. I don't really like the way the engine sits, because the 5th and 6th cylinders clear back in. So in order to work on, you have to move a lot of stuff out of the way to get into to work on this. Again, just differences. But of course, then again, the hood on the Molines is so long, because that engine sets out, and so it's got such a much longer hood. This is the wheelbase on this is going to be a lot shorter than what the Moline is. That same thing for servicing the air filter. It's kind of back in underneath there. So just differences, but I'm looking forward to helping him get this thing going. He hasn't really driven around for 20 years, so although he did drive it from the other barn over to here. So yeah, let's get it cleaned up and he'll have something. All right, I'm gonna quit talking, and hopefully he's gonna be back here in a minute and we can get this thing sorted out. So here's our system. About a 4-foot bar on top of the breaker bar, going to a 3/4 inch socket. And now literally we're to the point that I'm trying to put a wrench on the backside because it's spinning and I can't hold it on there. So Josh went to go get the next best thing, which is the angle grinder with the cutting wheel on it, and start cutting these stupid things off. Just to tell you how bad this is, the first one we were working on, he came back, we broke that. So that's a pretty good sized bolt to snap off, I must say. I was kind of impressed with Josh, and I said, you can brag about that one. But anyway, it snapped off in there. So I think next thing is cut these, the ones that we can't get off, just cut them off. This is insane. All right, finally success. We were able to get it off. We had to cut one of the last bolts back. I had to go on the back side and just keep cutting away at this to knock it out because it was spinning and it wouldn't come off. And that was one of the nastiest. I can't believe the other side was so easy. If we'd have started with this side, we'd already been drinking beer. But that tire also on this side was still complete. All right, so my battery died last time we were here. We got the wheels on, got everything tightened down after we fought this one to the death. And then we were able to get this started, let it run a while. And then today Josh ran it around a little bit. And then we just changed the oil. It takes 3 gallons. We put Rotella in it, new oil filter. And then went around and greased it, and then put the hoods on and the side panels. All we needs a couple more bolts. We were kind of seeing what we were missing, but we just need a couple more bolts to hold everything together, but we're pretty close. We're gonna pull it out and give it a good bath because it's been sitting in the barn for quite a while, but it's looking a lot better. And now we're ready to go run it. Josh ran around, you can see a little bit to warm it up for the oil change. So Josh is here with me. Tell me the story about this tractor.
So my dad bought it new in 1977. It was the biggest tractor on the farm and the first one with a cab. And his dad, my grandfather, thought it was a waste of money. You don't need air conditioning, you don't need a cab. Once my grandfather got in there and started working it, we couldn't get him out. So he was a believer after that. And
I think that happened a lot with people because my grandpa was kind of the same way. And then it was amazing. After a while, you couldn't get him out of a cab tractor.
Once he farmed until I was probably 5 or 6 years old, and then we started renting out the ground, and it stayed parked in the family farm until I was a senior in high school. And I got the bright idea that the last day of school at my high school, we drove something weird, whether it be golf carts or four-wheelers, and I wanted to drive this. So a couple friends and I got it going, and I drove this my last day, senior year, all the way to the next county north. Drove it up there and back, and that was about the last time it was ran. When I had the idea to get it started, my mom said, "You know, Tom, I don't think he should be driving that all that far." He said, "Don't worry, he'll give up on it. He'll never get it started." And a couple months later, we painted it and had it running, and that was my last day, my senior year. And we brought it home and kind of parked it, and we weren't farming at the time actively, so it sat for another 15 years until Andy was able to help me get it started and tuned up, and she's roaring again.
What year did you graduate?
05.
Okay, you're a puppy. So yeah, great story about the tractor. And so the farm, I was explaining on the video, your family's main farm was across from my house, and that started in what year did they settle up here?
So this was my great-grandfather's farm where the tractor is now, and that was 1823 is the first Mains bought ground in Ohio. And then my grandfather got married, you know, a guy, John B., his last name escapes me, Hanover, and he got 100 acres from him, and that's where he started his family with 7 kids and farmed, I think it was 100 acres or so up there. So
nice. Well, it's raining a little harder, which isn't great, but that'll help clean this thing up. But we're gonna go out and get it washed off, and then Josh is gonna drive around a little bit more, and I'll do a little bit more filming after we get all the bird crap off, so you can actually see out of the windows, because right now there's about 1/4 inch of dirt and bird crap on there. So all right, great story. We're gonna get this cleaned up, and then you get to see it drive around a little bit. Man, he just started it, and that thing started so nice, just purrs. So you can see the windows, how nasty they are. We're gonna go, like I said, give this thing a real bath on a rainy day, but the rain's not gonna clean off the amount of dirt that's built up on this thing. the sign out in front of Josh's mom's place, but we got it washed off, and there was a lot of dirt on that thing sitting for 20 years, although it was in a barn. But it looks a lot better, I think you'll agree, and it sounds nice. Very nice. I know that's a happy dude sitting in there. Sprinkling a little bit. It's not a great day out here, but probably wishing that windshield wiper worked right about now. Very cool. First time that thing's come up this driveway for quite a few years. Raising the 3-point up. So you can see the windows are a lot cleaner. It's a lot cleaner than what it was. But yeah, it's the story of the Case 1070. It's been resurrected. It's all ready to go. Now Josh can play with it. Looks good, sounds good. Looked like it drove good, bouncing a little, but the tires are probably the front ones especially been sitting a long time. So there you go. That's this is a good day right there. All right, just got home from helping Josh and got that put away. I think he's pretty happy. It was pretty awesome to see it going, and ran over to Oliver Phil's. One of the suggestions I got for heating up the front tube of the 950 was to get a weed torch. So Oliver Phil said, I got one, come get it. So I went and grabbed that. Before I went over to Josh's today, Brian Ford stopped by, and he had, I'll show you what's in this piece of paper after I walk back over here to the 114. Brian had these dash plates made up, replacement dash plates for these tractors, and it fits perfectly and everything's drilled perfectly. It makes it look, so he does have those for sale if anybody's looking for one, but it's pretty nice. He also picked up some mower decks and some other things that I'd sold him a while back, so cleaned some stuff out today. And yeah, so I think that's going to be it for this video. We'll see in the next video will hopefully be me getting this front end broke free, and I meant to bring the 955 back today and put it on the other side of the 950. I kind of rearranged everything in here, but I'll have to, it's raining and it's crappy out today, and I got caught up doing other stuff. So all that being said, appreciate everybody watching. Hopefully you like the story of Josh's Case 1070. Awesome tractor, awesome family. His dad was an awesome guy. Like, I really like truly, genuinely nice person that was a joy to be around. He's very much missed, and I'm glad that Josh is kind of keeping some things going by keeping the tractors going and still doing stuff there on the family farm. So please like and subscribe, and we'll see you at the next video, which I'll probably have to be wearing a ugly yellow Michigan shirt that I from the bet that I lost with Moline Dan. Until then.